Initiating moisture.
There's no reason to pour sugar on this coat. Most of you don't like Disney live action remakes. I also think it's a bit ridiculous to keep remaking beloved properties in a live action format. Seems highly unnecessary. But that being said, I have enjoyed all of the Disney live action remakes up until Lion King. And The Lion King isn't a live action remake because it's still just animation, just a realistic animation instead of 2D. So I think it's really misleading that it's even being branded as a live action remake. But I could totally see why kids would think it was realistic because visually it's fucking stunning and it does look genuinely real. But I want to say why I like the previous ones and not this one. Let's take, for example, Aladdin, the most recent one before this. I liked Aladdin. Don't get me wrong, it didn't even come close to the original, didn't hold a candle or a condom or anything to the original. It wasn't even the same ballpark. But as its own standalone piece, Aladdin was a really competent and a movie that clearly had its own creative vision on the story, and I appreciated that and enjoyed it. It was a different telling of the same story with a different creative process and vision that came across, and I appreciated it. I thought it was a good movie. And with The Lion King, I don't get that feeling at all. This seems completely passionless. The personality of the original is completely ripped out of this one. Just the bare bones of what Lion King was. It's just a shot-for-shot remake of the original Lion King. There's no new scenes, maybe one or two, and then a couple scenes that were outright removed or shortened. But overall, it is shot-for-shot exactly the same movie, except animated realistically, which to me just screams cash grab because this movie doesn't even try to do anything different. It uses almost the identical script as well, except maybe a prototype version of the original, a much worse rough draft version, because it's not as good there either. In fact, every department in this movie is a downgrade from the original, except for if you want to argue the visuals being more beautiful. And the visuals, don't get me wrong, are unbelievably stunning, just absolutely spectacular. Photorealistic is an understatement for what you get in the movie. I could absolutely see kids going into this and thinking they just watched real animals on the screen. It is that good. And it really is beautiful. I can't deny that at all. That's my favorite part of the movie, the best part of the movie. But the main problem with the movie is they were so married to this idea of being realistic, they didn't realize what that would rob the film of. Lion King works as a cartoon because in the cartoon, they're very expressive in their facial animations. You get to see what they're going through just by how they react. They get tears, they get all types of different shit going on with them, and you can see the personality of the character. Because this is supposed to be realistic, lions don't cry. Lions don't, dance around, break dance, throw up Fortnite default dances or anything crazy like that. They're pretty stale. They're pretty blank-faced, blank expression. They nuzzle and stuff, and that's about the extent that they can convey emotion with here. That leads this movie to have no emotion from the characters. So in an important scene like Mufasa dying, the most you get from Simba is that's about it. There's not a whole lot of emotion you get to see there because it's supposed to be a realistic animal, and an animal can't, go YouTuber thumbnail like, crazy or anything like that. So you get a really underwhelming moment where it's supposed to be very emotional. And that's the biggest enemy here, is because they wanted this realistic art style, it really robbed the entire movie of emotion. They tried their best. There's obvious attempts to make the characters more animated, but they wanted to live in this world of reality that it just doesn't really work very well. So you get like songs that kind of just have no impact because it looks very underwhelming. The characters just seem very out of place. There's also the song with Can You Feel the Love Tonight that takes place during the day. So it seems even disjointed in that area where the songs don't even match the visuals you're seeing. It's just an odd decision to take a movie that's built on animals being animated, being very clearly displaying emotion and personality, to come to this and have none of that there. The most important part of Lion King. It's just a huge letdown. And the reason why some of I like Aladdin is because Aladdin can work in live action, not nearly as well, but it's at least believable because it uses human characters in the animation, so you can have some human actors get kind of close to what they display in the cartoon. They can't quite get there, but they try and they can get close, so it's not nearly as jarring. You get the same kind of emotions to a lesser degree from the live action as you did from the cartoon. Here, it's not even close, and it's not even comparable. It's just a really odd decision. I just don't see why this movie was made in the first place. The only thing I can think of is a cash grab because kids by now probably don't know what The Lion King is, but they know what Disney is because Disney owns fucking everything shy of the air we breathe. So they want to see the next Disney movie. Why not tell them the most important story Disney's ever told with Lion King? They might not want to go watch a cartoon from the 90s. They might want to watch a realistic one. So that's why this was made, and I guess it serves that purpose because it genuinely is, shot for shot, the original. But if you've seen the original, there is no reason why you would ever choose this over the original at all. Everything in the cartoon version is significantly better than this one, and this just seems like such a waste of resources. It's incredible what they've done on a technical level with the visuals, and even the voice cast I thought was extremely good. At times, I thought a couple of performances were a little phoned in here and there, but overall, that department was super solid as well. It's just so useless as a product because it doesn't do anything. If this was a video game, this wouldn't really even be considered a remaster of the original. This would just be like a version 1.2 with a slightly improved graphics. Like there's no quality of life changes or anything. There's just no changes except maybe removing a few scenes and shortening songs. They also pretty much cut Rafiki out of the movie. Rafiki's in the movie for maybe like 5 scenes in total. He's extremely underused in this movie. They cut out the most important parts of his character, which is, I don't know why they would since it's shot for shot, but they did. Plugging this shit into the moist meter, I'm giving Lion King a 50%. It does what I think they wanted it to do. It tells the Lion King story. It tells it in the exact same way, but a different coat of paint on it, which I guess is what they wanted. I think that's really scummy, but I can't deny how good the movie looks. It sounds great. Voice cast is great. I know people are going to like the movie, but it is extremely soulless and lacks the most basic elements of what made Lion King so great in the first place. That's about it. So yeah.